lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Chekherjoy. This time I'm doing a graphic novel review for Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, which is a modern retelling of Little Women as a graphic novel. The writing and art is by Terciero, Indigo, and it's based off a novel by Louisa May Alcott. I probably mispronounced those names, so they'll be down in the description below. So this is a retelling of the Little Women story as a children's graphic novel. So if you like Raina Telgemeier, it's in that style of writing. It's very accessible to a younger audience, and it's got pictures that are just absolutely delightful. I'm sure I'm going to have some of them up here in post-editing. I love this art style. It's so inviting, and it's also kind of easy to just start reading, which I enjoyed. Like, there's such deep, dark, complicated things happening in the story of Little Women, so to have it against this very opening, welcoming art style, I really appreciate it, and it makes you feel, it made me feel more connected to these characters. I mean, yes, I've read the book, I've rewatched the movies, even went and saw the new one. Like, I know these characters, but to see them in new situations was also really fun. We're also dealing with them when they're children, so we're focusing on a period where the youngest two, Amy and Beth, are in middle school, and the oldest two, Jo and Meg, are in high school. It's also a blended family, so Jo and their mother are both white, and Meg and their father are both black, and then Beth and Amy are children of the marriage after the mom and dad married, so they're both mixed. So I kind of like the fact that we touch on, so I like the fact that they are just a mixed family. I don't think there was much on, like, the race issue. It's more about feminism and girls, and it's about these four women who have vastly different outlooks on life and vastly different wants, and, well, four women and their mother. They all have different looks on what it's like to be female and also what they want in life, and trying to figure out who you are and being true to yourself, while still having the support of, like, other females, and particularly your sisters, which is such a key point of Little Women, and it translated so well into this graphic novel. Their dad is off fighting in a war, so he is gone, and the story is told mostly through, like, graphic novel chapters, but at the end of each chapter there is a letter or email or diary entry that is just written in prose, which I enjoyed, especially the emails that they are sending to their father and telling them about their lives. And the older sisters are like, "Dad, I miss you, and this is great." And then we have, like, Amy, who's like, "Oh man, I was told I had to write to you, so I'm just going to send you a bunch of pictures." I also love that Amy has, like, spelling errors and stuff that are very indicative of that much younger age. Of that, I think she's like 10 or 11, like, seriously just starting to become a woman. So their mother is also off working all the time. The dad's away, the mom's got to do a couple of jobs, or she has one job that takes a lot of time. Anyway, she's not home all the time, and so the older sisters are also helping take care of the younger sisters. Especially Amy needs so much watching. So Meg is the oldest. She is, like, a senior in high school. She's starting to make plans for college and what she's going to do next, thinking about what career she wants. She also enjoys fashion, and she loves the finer things in life. She is hanging out with friends who are popular and have tons of money, and she is very conscious of the fact that they don't have a ton. And so she has her mind set on finding and marrying somebody who makes a lot of money so that she can have a more comfortable lifestyle. She doesn't want to have the same lifestyle she's had with her family where they don't have enough all the time. So that's kind of Meg's driving force. Jo, on the other hand, is a writer, and she loves reading and stories and being, like, emotionally affected by things and just reveling in it. She's definitely got this poet's heart to her, although I think she's writing a novel. She's also a bit of a tomboy. She is also hoarding this secret that she's keeping from everybody, and it's, like, weighing her down, and it takes us a while to actually find out what that secret is. But Jo is definitely not one who feels like she has to be a girly girl. She enjoys figuring out how people work, and she doesn't feel like she needs to, she likes quirky things in other people, and so she also she ends up exhibiting her own quirkiness, which I love Jo. Jo is like me. I love her so much. Then we have Beth, who is definitely seems wise beyond her years. She may be the second of the youngest. She may still be in middle school, but she's very studious. I don't know if she necessarily knows what she wants to do with her life, but like she takes things seriously, but at the same time has so much heart and compassion and warmth, and is maybe the one who like guides her siblings back to, hey, we should care for others and not just worry about ourselves all the time. That's so amazing. She also has an obsession with music and listening to music. She loves Nina. I think it's Nina Simone, one of those jazz artists, and she's like trying to find their records, and just like revels in that. And the younger sister is Amy, who's a bit more like Meg, and that she likes fashion and being popular, and that's kind of her driving force. But also Amy is still so young that like her fashion choices are like cute neon things and like very childish things, but also like they're adorable things. Like I love Amy. And there's something really delightful about Amy in this and her childhood innocence and her really just starting to deal with grown-up things in her life. And there's something about this book, like some of the other adaptations of Little Women, Amy comes off as like a petulant child, but Amy just loves everything so much that she just gets excited about everything, and I think sometimes she just gets too caught up in the moment that she's not fully processing everything, which is something that a lot of kids do, where they're like, I'm so focused on this game that I'm playing or this thing that I'm doing. Amy's also really into art. She's starting to develop art skills. She's also taking tons of pictures. She's into very social things like I don't know if she's actually Instagramming yet or she's just sharing them with her friends, but she's definitely like photographing everything, which is adorable. And also she's a huge gamer, which I loved. Although her sisters can also just kick her butt too. I think there's one scene where she is playing against Jo and just obliterates her, even though Amy's thing is gaming. But Jo's got the like older experience. She's been doing it longer, so she just like, it's so much fun. Okay, and then the other major character in this book is their neighbor from, I think he's across the street. Anyway, Mr. Lawrence is this grandfather figure, and his grandson moves in with him. And so his grandson, Laurie, just immediately like sees the March sisters and like is absolutely in love with them. He's an only child. He never got to have that sibling experience, and then he sees these 4 girls across the street. He's about Jo's age, and he's just like latches onto them and like follows them around, and it's just so adorable. But Laurie also has the money, and so it creates this interesting dynamic where he's like showing up in their lives, like going to school with them, or like Meg is going to these parties with like her rich friends, and Laurie's also going to these parties because he's just in that social circle and seeing them together. And like each of the girls come over to his house and like falls absolutely in love with his lifestyle. Like Meg is entranced by all the fine things he has and all the parties he gets to go to and how the people he gets to hang out with. And then we've got Jo who like sees his library and is like, I want to live here. And then we have Beth going over there and she like finds a guitar and is like obsessed with playing the guitar. Amy is just like, look at all this really cool gaming stuff you have. Let's play games, video games, you know. And just, I love it. Like, they all just find this connection they have to Laurie and his family, his grandfather, and just, they kind of become best buds and kind of a continuation of that family, which I love. There is also an aunt who Jo works for, and the aunt is well off, but also kind of keeps her distance. Like, she helps. There are a few instances where things get really bad and the aunt jumps in and helps, but, like, basically, this is my money and you guys made your own decisions, which is one of the reasons why they're always like barely making it. But Jo ends up working with her, becoming like a companion sort of thing where she goes over after school and like helps her aunt with like email and stuff. And so the aunt's kind of detached, but also you can tell she has a little bit of a fondness for these girls. Like, they're still her family. So those are our main characters. And basically the book just hinges on how they interact with each other. Some awful things happen. It goes through some major struggles along the way. But it's all about leaning back on each other. Having that family connection and those deep friendships. And who do you turn to when you actually need somebody. Which is basically the key characteristic of Little Women in general, and it does it so well. The actual main events that happen along Little Women get translated into this. There was nothing in there where I missed something from happening in the original book or any of the adaptations where I was like, man, that really needed to be in here. Like, they all get touched upon. So if you have read Little Women before, all those parts are in there, but, like, updated. So, like, there's a scene where limes are a popular thing in the school. And so in the modernization, it's all about these friendship bracelets. And one of the ones that Amy has is, like, a lime one. Like, the color lime, like this bright neon colored friendship bracelet. So she's getting money to buy more friendship bracelets rather than limes. Because who's obsessed with limes now? So I love those kind of adaptations and those shifts to make it feel like it is very modern. It is very 2019. I don't want to spoil it in the chance that you have not ever read or watched Little Women before. And this could totally be your introduction to these characters and to Little Women in general. And it works really well at that. Like, they knew they were working with a younger audience. Because it's a children's graphic novel, they are dealing with a younger audience. And so this might be an introduction to somebody who has never been read Little Women. And that's just amazing. Because it does it so well. It is very opening. It is very, like, come find these characters. They're so much fun. They have tons of adventure. I loved it because it's just so genuine. And it makes them feel like they're real teenagers in, like, today's world. And I love it. They have cell phones and stuff. Yeah. So I love it. It makes it feel like it's very modern and very much as if they're real teenagers in, like, today's world. But also all my favorite parts of the books and the movies also got translated into this really well. It keeps the same plot line. The same things are basically happening, just they're different because it's a different age. I was reading other people's reviews, and some people were complaining about how because it's a graphic novel and we're going through it so fast that you don't get to linger on any of the feelings. Like, when things get really bad, you don't feel it as much. But I also felt like there was enough character development and there's enough emotion in the page and in the depictions that if you are used to reading graphic novels, that there is a moment where you can just, like, kind of pause and just linger and have that. And the art style does such a good job of depicting that heartbreak at times and how things get really tough. I loved this so much. I'm pretty sure I just gave it 5 stars. I read it all in one day, and it's just amazing. It's great. Totally go read it. So, peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.